Sister, have you ever felt the weight of the day still pressing on your heart when the night has already come? In tonight's prayer, we will walk together into the arms of God the Father, bringing Him every difficult matter, every heavy thought, and every burden we cannot carry alone. You will learn how to lay down your worries before His throne and receive His peace before you close your eyes to rest. By the end of this prayer, your heart will be lighter, your soul will feel sheltered, and your night will be covered in the embrace of your Heavenly Father. This prayer is called Evening Prayer to God the Father. Surrender to Him all your troubles. Laying down the day. Sister, the evening is the sacred threshold. It is the moment when the sun lowers its light, when silence begins to cover the earth, and when the heart longs for rest. Yet so often, instead of peace, we carry with us the weight of the hours behind us, the words spoken, the duties unfinished, the worries that cling even as darkness falls. But the Father in heaven invites you tonight to do something different. He invites you to lay down the day like an offering upon His altar. Every sigh, every tear, every thought that still stirs within you, place them before Him. For He is not a distant God who looks from afar. He is the Father who bends close, who sees the secret places of your soul, who whispers, "Daughter, give me what burdens you." Sister, think about the hours of this day. Perhaps there were moments of joy, but also moments of pain. Perhaps you carried worries for your children. Perhaps memories returned that left your heart unsettled. Or maybe it was simply the weight of ordinary duties that left you tired and longing for rest. Whatever you carry, He desires it. He does not ask you to polish it, to hide it, or to make it lighter before offering it. He asks you to bring it as it is. When you close your eyes tonight, imagine the Father's hands stretched out towards you, strong, steady, yet tender. Into those hands you can place every difficult matter, knowing that nothing is too small or too heavy for Him. If He can hold the heavens in their place, He can surely hold the concerns of your heart. And sister, this is the mystery, that by giving Him your burdens, you do not lose them to emptiness, but you release them into His power. You allow His strength to cover your weakness, His wisdom to guide your confusion, His peace to settle your unrest. But perhaps you ask, how do I know that God truly hears my prayer? How can I be certain that my offering will not be forgotten in the silence of night? The answer will unfold in the next part. The Father who listens. Sister, let us take another step into the quiet of this evening prayer. You have laid down the weight of the day, and now we must remember something even more important. Our God is not silent. He is the Father who listens, the Father who bends low to hear every word from the lips of His children. When you speak to Him in prayer, your words do not vanish into the air. They rise before His throne, they touch His heart, and they move His hand. Perhaps you have wondered at times, does God truly hear me? Do my prayers matter when I'm only one voice in a vast world? Sister, I assure you, your voice matters. In the secret chambers of heaven, not a single prayer is lost. Every sigh, every whispered plea, every tear that falls in silence is gathered by the Father. He treasures them, for they come from the heart of His beloved daughter. There is great comfort in knowing that prayer is not a one-way journey. It is a conversation, a meeting of hearts. You bring your burdens, and He answers with His peace. You bring your confusion, and He responds with His wisdom. You bring your weakness, and He covers you with His strength. Even if you do not always hear His voice in words, you can feel His presence in the stillness of your soul, in the calm that suddenly replaces fear, in the hope that slowly rises where despair once lived. The saints throughout history knew this truth well. One of them, Saint Teresa of Avila, once said, "Prayer is nothing else than being on terms of friendship with God." Sister, think of those words. Friendship means closeness, trust, a bond that grows with time. When you pray, you are not speaking to a stranger, nor to a distant judge. You are speaking to your friend, your Father, the one who knows you better than you know yourself. And in that friendship, He receives every word with love. This is why your evening prayer matters so deeply. It is not simply a ritual to end the day. It is an act of trust that opens your heart to the one who never sleeps, the one who watches over you even as your body rests. When you kneel or simply whisper in your bed, "Father, I give this to you," heaven bends to listen. You are never ignored, never forgotten. And sister, there is also power in shared prayer. When many hearts lift the same words, their voices join together like a chorus that cannot be silenced. That is why tonight I invite you to take part in this act of unity. As a sign of surrender and trust, please write in the comments these words: "Father, I trust you." Do not write them as empty letters. Write them as your declaration, as your testimony, that even in the trials of life, you place your hope in the Father who listens. These words, simple and short, can become a seed of faith that grows in you and inspires others who read them. Imagine what it will mean when women across the world, each in her own home, each with her own burdens, lift the same prayer: "Father, I trust you." It becomes not only your personal act of faith, but a great wave of prayer that reaches the heart of God. And He, who delights in the trust of His children, will pour His blessing upon you. So tonight, sister, remember this truth: your Father listens. He listens not only to your words, but to your heart, to your silence, to the groaning of your soul when you have no strength to speak. Nothing is hidden from Him, nothing is ignored. In His presence, every prayer is heard, every burden is seen, every tear is known. And in that certainty you can rest, because the Father who listens is also the Father who acts, the weight you cannot carry alone. Sister, evening is often the moment when the heart feels its weakness most deeply. The noise of the day grows silent, and in that silence, the burdens you tried to ignore return with greater force. Worries about children, grandchildren, health, finances, or even the memories of choices long past, they all rise like shadows in the night. Perhaps you have known those hours, lying in bed, your body weary, but your mind restless, carrying a weight you do not know how to put down. It is here that God the Father invites you to remember a truth that changes everything. You were never meant to carry these burdens alone. From the beginning, He created you not to live in isolation, but in communion with Him, with His Spirit, with His love. The troubles you face are real, but they are not yours to bear without His help. Think of the cross, sister. Even Jesus, the Son of God, allowed another to help Him carry it. Simon of Cyrene was called from the crowd to lift part of the weight, to walk beside Him in His suffering. If Christ Himself accepted help in His hour of trial, how much more does the Father desire that you allow Him to take what crushes you, to hold what seems unbearable? Perhaps you feel guilty sometimes, thinking, I should be stronger. I should have more faith. I should not let these things trouble me so much. But faith is not pretending you are unshaken. Faith is knowing where to turn when you are trembling. It is placing the heaviest part of your heart into the hands of the Father and saying, I cannot, but you can. Imagine for a moment a little child carrying a bucket of water far too heavy for her arms. She stumbles, she struggles, the weight splashes and threatens to overwhelm her. But then her father steps forward, places his strong hands on the bucket, and lifts it with ease. The child still walks beside him, but the burden no longer crushes her. This is what happens when you entrust your troubles to God the Father. He does not remove you from life's journey, but He carries the weight with you, transforming exhaustion into peace. And sister, there is more. When you surrender your struggles into His care, He does not only hold them, He reshapes them. What seemed like a wall may become a doorway. What felt like loss may prepare the way for deeper joy. What looked like unanswered silence may become the soil where new life grows. Our Father is a creator. He does not simply take what is broken. He makes all things new. But you may still ask, what about the fears that return again and again? What about the wounds that seem too deep, the troubles that come back no matter how often I pray? Sister, even then, the Father remains faithful. He does not grow weary of hearing your voice. He does not become tired of your repeated prayers. A loving parent never tires of a child's cry for help. How much more will the Father in heaven never turn away when you call upon Him? Tonight, as you reflect on your own life, think of the matters you have tried to carry alone. Which burdens have bent your shoulders for too long? Which fears have stolen your sleep? Which memories still weigh down your soul? The Father waits for you to place them in His hands, not once, but as often as needed. For His mercy has no limit, and His patience has no end. Rest, then, in this truth. You are not asked to be perfect. You are not asked to be unshakable. You are not asked to be without weakness. You are asked only to be a daughter, to trust, to come, to hand over what is too much for you. And when you do, you will find that the weight begins to lift, and your soul begins to breathe again. Sister, let this night be different. Let this be the evening when you finally lay down what has burdened you, not into silence, but into the Father's embrace. For He who holds the stars in their places can surely hold the troubles of your heart. The prayer of surrender. Sister, if the burdens of life weigh heavily, the greatest gift you can give yourself is the act of surrender. Not surrender to despair, not surrender to weakness, but surrender to the love of God the Father. Surrender is not defeat, it is trust. It is laying your heart into the hands of the one who knows you better than you know yourself. So many of us spend our days holding tightly to what troubles us. We cling to our fears because we think that if we do not, everything will fall apart. We replay conversations, we anticipate problems, we imagine the worst outcomes, and in doing so, we lock our hearts in chains of anxiety. But the Father does not want you to live imprisoned. He calls you tonight to release those chains and to let Him be the one who carries what you cannot. Sister, surrender begins with a single prayer spoken in faith. Father, I give this into your hands. You do not need to have perfect words. You do not need to know how everything will resolve. You only need to place it before him, as a child places a broken toy into her father's hands, trusting that he knows how to repair it. The Father does not laugh at your weakness. He delights in your trust. Think of your own life. How many times did you carry worries that later proved to be smaller than you imagined? How many nights did you lose sleep over matters that God quietly resolved in His own way, in His own time? If He has been faithful before, why should He not be faithful again tonight? The same Father who guided you through past valleys is the Father who watches over you now. When you surrender, peace begins to enter. Peace does not always mean that the problem disappears overnight, but it does mean that your heart no longer carries it alone. It means that the storm still may rage, but you rest in the shelter of His presence. Like a bird beneath the shadow of a great tree, you are covered, protected, hidden in His strength. Sister, this surrender is also a witness. When you live in trust, others see the difference. Your children, your grandchildren, your friends, they notice the peace in your words, the calm in your actions, the hope that shines even in trial. Your life becomes a quiet testimony that God is faithful, that His love is real, that His peace is greater than the fears of this world. And tonight, I want to invite you to take a step of that surrender in a visible way. Please write in the comments these words: Father, I surrender. Let them be not just a phrase, but a declaration of your soul. Write them as a way of handing your burdens into His hands. As your sisters in faith read these same words, they too will be strengthened, knowing that they are not alone in this journey of trust. Together, your prayers will rise like incense before the throne of God, a fragrance of faith that delights His heart. Do not fear what happens after you surrender. Do not wonder whether God truly holds your troubles. Believe that He does. Believe that tonight, even as you rest, He is working in ways unseen. He is aligning circumstances, softening hearts, opening doors, and closing others. His providence is at work even in silence. Sister, allow yourself the freedom of a child who no longer worries about tomorrow, because she knows her Father is awake, watching, and guiding. That is what surrender is. It is freedom, it is rest, it is peace. And it is yours tonight if only you choose to place everything into His hands. The Father's peace in the midst of the night. Sister, once surrender has opened your heart, something beautiful begins to take place. Into the space where worry once lived, the Father pours His peace. This peace is unlike anything the world can give. It is not simply the absence of problems or the silence of noise. It is the steady presence of God Himself, holding you with a love that does not falter. Think of a calm lake at night. The waters are still, the stars are reflected in its surface, and even the smallest ripple shines with light. That is what the Father's peace feels like in the soul. It is not the denial of storms, but the certainty that above every storm is a heaven that cannot be shaken. His peace anchors you, reminding you that whatever may happen around you, you are safe within His embrace. This peace often arrives in the quietest ways. It may be a gentle thought that whispers, "You are not alone." It may be a memory of God's faithfulness in years past, reminding you that He has never abandoned you before. It may be the sudden release of tension in your chest, or the softening of tears that once burned with pain. However it comes, it is His gift, a peace that enters not through effort, but through trust. Sister, many people search for peace in the wrong places. Some try to escape their troubles with distractions, others with bitterness, others still with despair. But true peace cannot be manufactured. It cannot be bought or stolen. It is given freely by the Father who delights in calming his children, and he gives it most abundantly to those who dare to place their cares into his hands. Perhaps you have experienced moments when peace surprised you, when, despite the heaviness of life, you felt a strange calmness rise within you. That was not your own strength. That was his Spirit at work, his presence reminding you that your life is never outside his care. Sister, the Father's peace is not fragile. It does not break when the world shakes. It is strong, enduring, unchanging, because it flows from the one who is eternal. To rest in this peace, you do not need long words or elaborate rituals. Sometimes the most powerful prayer is simply, Father, let your peace cover me. Whisper it tonight as you prepare for rest. Whisper it tomorrow when worry tries to return. Whisper it when the day feels heavy. And each time you will notice that his peace does not delay. It comes like the soft glow of a candle in darkness, reminding you that the night is never complete, that light always remains. Sister, when this peace settles in your soul, it changes the way you see your life. What once seemed unbearable becomes possible. What once felt hopeless begins to shine with new light. You realize that even in the trials of age, even in the uncertainties of the future, there is a calm center within you, the presence of God the Father. And from that center flows strength, courage, and hope. And let us not forget, this peace is also meant to be shared. When you live in it, others are drawn to it. Your children notice it in your voice. Your friends hear it in your words. Your very presence becomes a refuge, because the peace of the Father radiates through you. It is not only for you, sister, it is also for those whom God places in your path. So tonight, open your heart to this gift. Allow his peace to wash over you like a gentle river. Allow it to quiet your mind, to soothe your spirit, to prepare you for the rest that your body and soul long for. And remember, the peace of the Father is not temporary. It will remain with you, guarding you as you sleep, guiding you when you rise, surrounding you in every moment of the day. This is the promise of the one who calls you his beloved daughter. Peace I leave with you, my peace I give you. Not as the world gives do I give to you. Let not your heart be troubled, neither let it be afraid. These words of Christ echo the eternal truth. The Father's peace is your inheritance, your shelter, your strength. Rest in it tonight, sister. Let it be the song that carries you into sleep, the shield that protects you in the dark, and the light that will meet you again at dawn, resting as a child in the Father's arms. Sister, as the night deepens and the world grows quiet, your soul longs for one final truth. You are daughter of the Father, and his arms are your place of rest. Every worry, every sigh, every tear that has marked this day can now be placed into his embrace. He is not only the God of great miracles, he is the Father of tender mercies. He bends low to gather you, to hold you close, and to remind you that you belong to him. There is something sacred about the stillness of night. The world no longer demands your energy. The voices around you fade, and in the silence, your heart is more open to hear the whisper of God. That whisper is not harsh, not demanding. It is gentle, like the sound of a lullaby, saying, "Daughter, you are safe. I am here. This is the heart of evening prayer, not to escape reality, but to rest in the reality of his love. Sister, think of a child who climbs into a father's lap after a long, difficult day. She does not need to explain everything she has gone through. She does not need to find the perfect words. She only needs to rest, to trust that her father understands, that his presence alone is enough. That is the kind of prayer you are invited into tonight. A prayer not of effort, but of surrender. A prayer not of striving, but of resting. Sometimes we imagine prayer as something complicated, something requiring eloquence or long hours of speech. But tonight, your prayer can be as simple as breathing in and out with the words, "Father, I am yours." Each breath becomes an act of trust, each heartbeat a rhythm of faith. In this way, even as your body prepares for sleep, your soul is praying, your soul is resting in him. Sister, do not fear the night. Darkness has no power over the one who rests in God. He watches while you sleep. He guards your home. He blesses those you love. You do not need to be awake to keep everything under control. Your Father never slumbers. His eyes never close. His hand never grows weary. You can release control, knowing that you are sheltered beneath his eternal care. When you place your troubles into his hands, he does more than carry them, he transforms them. The weight of anxiety becomes an offering of trust. The ache of sorrow becomes a seed of hope. The silence of night becomes a canvas upon which his peace is painted. And you, sister, become a living testimony that faith is not the absence of struggle, but the certainty of being held. And tomorrow, when the new day dawns, you will rise with a lighter heart. Not because all your problems have vanished, but because you have learned the secret of trust. You are not alone, and you never will be. The Father who held you through the night will walk with you through the day. So as you prepare to close your eyes, let this be your final prayer. Father, I give you everything. Hold me as your child. Let me rest in your arms. Say it softly, say it with faith, and let his peace settle upon you like a warm blanket. For this is the truth that carries you through every night and every morning. You are his beloved daughter, and in his arms you are always safe. Blessing for the night. Sister, we have walked together through this evening prayer, laying down the day, trusting in the Father who listens, surrendering what is too heavy, and receiving his peace. Now it is time to rest, not with fear, not with unanswered worry, but with the certainty that your life is in the hands of your loving Father. You are not alone tonight. The same God who watched over you in childhood, who carried you through struggles, who lifted you in moments of weakness, is the God who watches over you now. His presence surrounds you, his love covers you, his peace guards you. And so I bless you with these words. May God the Father quiet your heart with his peace, so that every anxious thought is silenced in his love. May he lift the burdens from your shoulders and place them into his own hands. May his Spirit surround your home, making it a dwelling of calm and safety. May his mercy cover your family, your children, and all those you hold in your heart. And may your night be filled with rest as your soul lies safely in the arms of your Father. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Rest now, sister, for your Father is awake. Sleep in peace, for his hand is upon you. Rise tomorrow with hope, knowing that the God who holds the night also holds the day.